Hello, my name's Kevin Baker. I'm a hypnotherapist and I work at a practice called Clarity and Wellbeing, which is based in Winchester in Hampshire. In this short audio recording today, I'd like to talk a little bit about anger. And the first thing I'd like to say is that I've devoted a separate audio specifically to anger because of the importance. If someone is frequently or constantly experiencing the emotion of anger, then it is absolutely crucial to their health, both their physical and psychological health, that they learn how to release the emotional anger rather than suppress it. Okay, now in order to really explain anger and how we deal with and manage anger, how we teach people to manage anger with hypnotherapy, I'd like to talk a little bit about the fight or flight response initially. Now, this is the body's automatic response to perceived danger, and the fight or flight response, as it's known, basically there are two primary emotions related to the fight or flight response. Fear, the emotion of fear, which is the emotional energy. So fear is the emotional energy that's needed for running away or for fleeing. And anger is the emotional energy that's needed for fighting. Okay, so if we quickly go back and to our ancestors and talk a little bit about the fight or flight mechanism and what it is and why it was used. If our ancestors were put in a situation of perceived danger, such as being confronted with a wild animal, they would need to do one of two things really to survive. They would need to either fight the thing or they would need to run away, fight or flight. And instantly what would happen is adrenaline and sugars and other stimulants would flood the body, and blood containing oxygen would flow increasingly to muscles that were required to fight or flight, such as the arms and the legs. Muscles would tighten, eyes would narrow, and all sorts of things would happen in the body. Other systems and functions that weren't required in a fight or flight to save my life situation would be shut down or would slow down, such as the digestive system. It's just not needed while fighting or fighting for your life. So all of these things happen, and then back in our ancestry days, the fight or the running away happens, and the body reverts itself to its normal balance level by using up the sugar and adrenaline, etc. Now, in today's modern world, we still have this, as humans, we still have this fight or flight response built into us. And it's something that's kept the human race really going so successfully for all these years. But in today's world, it's not activated by being presented with a wild animal all of a sudden, as it used to be, but it's triggered in many ways, and the feeling of anger is one of the things that can trigger the fight or flight response. So if someone feels the emotion of anger, the description of what I said just now in the body is triggered and happens, and that's okay. The body is preparing itself to fight, basically. Now, if the problem occurs in today's world, if the person doesn't release that anger, which then reverts those chemicals back to their normal balance level, then they stay in the body and they break down and become more toxic. And this is where serious health problems can happen, both the body and psychologically as well, such as depression. If anger is constantly experienced by someone, it is so crucial that they look at the best possible way for them of learning how to release it, how to manage and release it. So let's talk a little bit about hypnotherapy now. Hypnotherapy by nature works with the subconscious part of the mind. So when we work with someone in anger management, we teach them by instilling into their subconscious a calmness in situations, and it's almost like retraining them. Now we get different people saying, well, I think I'm angry because of the way I was brought up, because my mother or my father were like this or like that, or because this happened at school or whatever. Often it is things that happen in our childhood that cause us to frequently experience the emotion of anger as adults. But by working with the subconscious mind, we can start to change things around and help the person manage it. And the other thing that we do is to teach the person ways, tips and techniques, ways of when they start to begin to feel angry, to deal with it. And these tips and techniques, they take away with them and they have them for life. And we're very proud of this, because we class it as life-changing hypnotherapy at Clarity and Wellbeing, because they'll never forget this, and they can work on it whenever in the future for the rest of their life, to ensure that whenever angry feelings and emotions are experienced, they are managed and released from the body in the most appropriate way, without using violence, etc. So it's absolutely crucial that if somebody is, just to reiterate, if somebody is frequently or constantly experiencing feelings of anger, the great news is, yes, things can be done to help them. They don't have to live with constantly feeling that way. And hypnotherapy really is a great way, a great tool for helping to manage anger. Well, I hope that you found at least something of interest in that short audio. I've certainly enjoyed doing it, and it would be absolutely great to maybe meet you one day. Thanks very much for listening. Goodbye for now.